It's been tough. The last 2 days, the last 2 games, more specifically, have been tough for the Golden State Warriors. 32 clutch games this season. The Warriors led in this category last year, and they're leading in this category again this year. I could have stomached tonight's game a lot better if NBA officials, in their ineptness, in their incompetency, in their ignorance, didn't hand LeBron James and the Lakers another game over the Warriors. I'm also not going to pretend that that's the only reason why the Warriors lost, but God damn it. If a team does not cross the half-court line within 8 seconds, you call the penalty and give the ball back to the Warriors. We're going to break it all down next. Despite a high-scoring night from Stephen Curry, despite the Warriors showing fight in that second half, and there's a lot to take away from this game that represent positives as we await the debut of Jimmy Butler on Saturday. Still a tough loss to stomach when you consider the fact that LeBron at 40 is putting up these numbers, when you consider the fact that officials continue handing that man games and advantages and just nothing equitable about playing the LA Lakers. The Warriors showed some fight. I'm giddy about Jimmy Butler making his debut. These clutch games are going to evaporate. There's going to be a semblance of security, of stability with the Warriors. I can't wait. I know a lot of you are skeptical about Jimmy Butler, and I get that. The moment he puts on that uniform, the moment the Warriors start winning, you will change your tune fast. But until then, the Warriors have fallen a game below 500. That was a tough game. Let's break it down. I'm solo tonight. I'm bringing anyone on who wants to opine, who wants to rip on the Warriors for the Jimmy Butler trade, who wants to commend the Warriors for that Jimmy Butler trade, who has thoughts about the Warriors, and especially this game tonight, a game that they sadly, unfortunately, lost to the LA Lakers because, again, LeBron James at 40 is playing like a kid who's 25. It's absurd. Let's break it all down next. We're almost at Friday, folks. That's maybe the best news. And if you're watching or listening to this on the recorded version, maybe it's already Friday. So happy Friday to everyone watching it on delay. For the live audience, let's get into this now. It's the Gold.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. It was a pretty crazy night.
Woo! Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Come on and break me off. 'Cause I get what I want and I like what I see. If you got
Oh, well, Friday. I cannot Jimmy Butler in the house. Saturday. Welcome to the Golden Days. I'm your host for the evening, Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. On Twitter, my handle is Surf Journalist, and the program is on both those places at Golden Days Pod. Before we get into it, the content, the fun, obviously going to be welcoming anyone who wants to join me tonight on the show, because I'm guessing a lot of people have a lot of thoughts, have a lot of opinions about the latest iteration of the Warriors, whether we're talking a second straight tough loss, that Jazz game still stings, whether you want to talk about the moves and maybe even the lack thereof, because I know some of you are unhappy about the fact that the Warriors struck out on Nikola Vucevic. I will open that door soon. Before we get into everything, though, got to give some love to the folks paying their bills who support this operation. We don't exist without you, the audience, and we don't exist without the sponsors. It's how it goes. So, the good news is they're great sponsors. They're sponsors I personally love. First and foremost, Underdog Fantasy. I have not been playing the last few days. The trade deadline has made me very sketched out, very skeptical about the normal predictability that I see. So I'm going to wait a couple more days before I resume the action. But if you can't wait, I don't blame you. It's fun. It's legal here in California. And I post when I do play, I post all my picks. So you can follow me on whether you follow me on Threads or Twitter. I think I post most of these on Twitter. You can follow along with me. I've been winning. So hopefully I can make you some money. And if you use the promo code GSW when you sign up with Underdog Fantasy, you will get not just a free pick, but you can also get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's that simple. It's that easy. Just like the premise of Underdog Fantasy, which is picking a minimum of 2 players, a maximum of 8 players, where you can win up to 1,000 times what you put in. And this is one of many reasons why Underdog Fantasy is fun. You could literally put a $3 bet and win $3,000. So entertain yourself, have the time of your life, download the Underdog Fantasy app. It's all about higher than, lower than in terms of individual numbers. Follow along. Let me win you some money. And use the promo code GSW for a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Tonight's episode brought to you by Dr. Tom Rosanelli, the hair restoration specialist. This is the 50th anniversary of the 1975 championship, won by the Golden State Warriors. Rick Barry, the finals MVP that season. And to commemorate that, the doctor himself, a really cool dude, side note, his practice is based in San Francisco. He's a Warriors fan himself, and he will give you a $500 discount if you mention the name Rick Barry. It's that simple. Just call 415-931-9881. Again, 415-931-9881, or visit rosanelli.com to use the latest updated technology on hair restoration. Gentlemen, if your hair is falling out, if it's thinning, whatever the case that's going on in terms of the way you feel and look, don't be a LeBron James. Don't do that. At least the LeBron James of old. Be the LeBron James who's 40. Be the LeBron James who tonight scored at 40 years of age, 42 points. He grabbed 17 rebounds. He dished out 8 assists. And it was all because he went to a doctor like Tom Rosanelli to fix that mess at the top of his head. He got his confidence back. He looks good. He feels good. And so can you. Call 415-931-9881 or visit rosanelli.com. And last but not least, BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform. The Super Bowl is this Sunday. I bet on Saquon Barkley to score at least 1 touchdown. That's one of my bets that I put down. I'm going to bet on the Eagles. And I know how stupid that sounds. You're betting against Patty Mahomes. Fine Irish lad. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I for the simple reason that as incredibly great as Patrick Mahomes is, no one's ever three-peated. And if he ends up being the first, congratulations. But I'm going to bet against him. And I'm going to bet on the side of history, which has never once recognized a reigning 3-time Super Bowl champion. And if you disagree with me, just go to BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform, and we'll win yourself some damn money. The Golden State Warriors tonight, again, unfortunately, they're now a game below 500. They lose 120-112. This was a game that at halftime, the Warriors were getting their asses kicked. They trailed this game by 20. I believe the largest deficit. I do have an updated box score. The Warriors trailed by as much as 26 points in this game. And it was a combination of things. Their transition defense was utter shit. It was virtually non-existent. If you watch this game on TNT, Stan Van Gundy was calling out the Warriors' pathetic transition defense for very good reason, because the Lakers got so many easy points just by throwing Hail Mary passes. It was a joke. The Warriors had forgotten tonight that other teams can run back and there was no offsides calls in the NBA. Why did they think offsides was a real thing? It is not. It does not exist in the NBA. Yet for some reason, the Warriors defense pretended that that offsides calls exist, like they do. I don't know if hockey still has that or not, but in soccer, they still have offsides. There is no offsides in basketball. The LA Lakers tonight outscored the Warriors. Let me zoom in here a little bit. This is for myself. Thank you. The LA Lakers tonight outscored the Golden State Warriors in fast break points 35-9, a 26-point advantage. The Lakers, I mean, that advantage alone is insane, but I don't understand what was going on there in terms of the Warriors defense not getting back. I didn't get that part of it. Now, transition defense or not, in terms of flopping and flailing, it does not excuse the LA Lakers having 36 free throw attempts. They lead the NBA in this category. We all know about the bias of the Kansas City Chiefs and the favoritism that NFL officiating gives to Patty Mahomes. Fine Irish lad. But let's not pretend that the same advantage is not enjoyed by LeBron James and the LA Lakers. LeBron tonight had 10 free throw attempts. Austin Reeves had 16 free throw attempts. 16. The Warriors as a team had 20, to give you some perspective. And again, what I mentioned that cold open about the 8-second call, with about a minute to go in this game, and I believe it was a 5-point difference. It might have been 5 or 6. The Warriors are trailing very much in this game. And I'm going to read to you some second half stats for the Warriors in just a moment, because everything you see in terms of the total box score was skewed largely from an abysmal first half of Warriors basketball. Side note, the trend of Warriors poor starts continues. I don't understand why Steve Kerr is not making adjustments on that front. The Warriors in last night's game against the Jazz, I think, started the game trailing like 20-4 or 20-6. It was some absurd deficit. And Steve Kerr finished the game with the same 5 that he started with. At least I'm pretty sure I got that right. They are starting games abysmally. I need to do my research over the last 10 games. If I can do that during the show tonight, I will, in terms of just how poorly this team has been starting on a night-by-night basis. But I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand the lack of adjustment. I don't understand the constant Buddy Hield being inserted into the starting lineup. One adjustment I noticed to start the second half, and it paid off huge, was Moses Moody starting, again, to start the second half, to start the third quarter in place of Quentin Post. I don't think Quentin Post was playing a bad game, but he just was not that effective. Quentin Post played 11 minutes, 16 seconds tonight. He was 2 of 5 from 3, finished the game with 6 points, added 2 rebounds, but Moses Moody was playing great ball tonight. And even though the box score is going to show just 14 points, he was 2 of 6 shooting from 3. That's good enough. That's 33%. That is the Mendoza line for 3-point shooting, 4 of 10 from the field. But he was bringing it to tenacity and energy that this team desperately needed. And the Warriors outscored the Lakers by 9 in that third quarter and made it a run. But these starts, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah, Jill Espina, I agree. Jimmy Butler, SOS. Side note, the Warriors play the Bulls in Chicago on Saturday. Jimmy Butler expected to make his debut. He went to San Francisco this afternoon for his physical pass. Folks, every one of you who hates the decision by the Warriors to trade for Jimmy Butler, most of you will immediately understand why they made this move when you see him in a uniform on Saturday. When you see Stephen Curry actually being able to breathe out there and not getting suffocated by opposing defenses throwing 2, sometimes 3 guys at him on every possession. It's not like a once-in-a-while thing. It's literally every offensive possession. Stephen Curry's getting just trapped. And again, the schemes are not obvious, right? Like, you're not seeing these traps in the corners right when he's crossing the half-court line, but I can't wait to see Stephen Curry actually get some help out there. It's going to be a beautiful thing. That's coming Saturday. We're not there yet, but they absolutely needed him tonight. Johnny is saying I'm crying. What am I crying about? Johnny, what am I crying about, man? What's that all about? I'm not crying about a damn thing. Unless you're pointing out that I'm not happy about the officiating, in which case, do you think that LeBron James is being called fairly? Like, do you think the Lakers not getting called for that 8-second violation with a minute to play and the Warriors down by just 5? You don't think that was unfair? You don't think that was a gross blatant advantage given to the Lakers? Otherwise, I'm not crying about a thing. I'm stoked about Jimmy Butler coming, man. I'm optimistic about this Golden State Warriors team. I ain't crying about a damn thing, brother. And if you think otherwise, come on the show and talk about it. Here, I'll put the link in the chat right now because I'm guessing a lot of folks want to come on. And Johnny, that includes you. Don't be a pussy-ass bitch. Come on the show. Talk to me. I dare you. Tell me what I'm crying about. Come on. Do it. Do it. Otherwise, I'm not crying at all. I'm elated. Unlike a lot of people, I think this Jimmy Butler trade was a magnificent move just for the fact that they had to do something. And again, Jimmy Butler is a great basketball player. You folks will understand when you see him on that basketball court. The chat is posted if you want to join us, but the Golden State Warriors, man, the first half, the starts, I just don't get that. I also don't understand the usage of Gary Payton II. He played 8 minutes and 5 seconds tonight. Why did he not play 25 minutes tonight, shadowing LeBron James? If GP2 is still the defensive stalwart that a lot of people think he is, then why is he not matching minutes with opposing teams' best players guarding them? Why? I don't get that. Curtis Aldretti.
7 points.
How you doing?
My question would be to both of you.
Hey man, I'm glad you had a show tonight, and thanks for doing this and letting us come on, man.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm sorry I don't do it all the time. I don't want to make people get sick of me, so I'm not going to do solo shows every time. But yeah, of course, man. What's on your mind, brother?
So we're starting to see a pattern here with the refs, right? In very critical calls, they call it against the Warriors. It's a pattern. It's been happening all year long. And I actually believe other teams know this is going to happen too.
Ooh.
They see it and they laugh because they know that the refs are going to call everything that even looks like a foul. They're going to call it on the Warriors. Did you see Curry getting held tonight? I mean, folks were grabbing his arm, trying to hold him back.
Yes.
And the refs act like they didn't see that. That bothers the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, of course. It's a joke. It really is a joke. And again, when you look at the numbers, the free throw attempts is absurd. I didn't see, like, when I saw the Austin Reeves numbers, 16 free throw attempts. Like, I don't remember most of those. Like that is, it's a gross advantage. I agree with you, man. And
absurd is the right word for that, man. And then the other word I'm going to use that I used the other night, and that is sabotage, man. Steve Kerr had 3 guard lineup for that first quarter, almost the whole first quarter, and we were getting our asses kicked. And it wasn't until I think the second quarter when he tried to bring in, or at least late first quarter, when he tried to bring in some size. And yeah, I mean, I love Quentin Post, and I think he's going to be a great player someday. Right now, he's kind of a traffic cone defensively.
He's not there yet. I agree with you. It's defensively he gets beat, and
he does.
I think that's something he'll figure out over time. He needs experience, but I'm with you.
I do too, and I have a lot of hope for him. I really want him to be good. We're going to need him to be good since we couldn't get Vucevic.
Correct.
Right? We really need to invest in him, and that's what I hope Kerr does. Is he invests in his young guys and starts waking up and saying, we got to develop these guys. This is the team that we have, and we're going to have to go into the postseason with this team.
Yeah.
So you better do a little better, Kerr.
I'm also really encouraged by the fact that Kevin Knox, we're going to see him soon.
I hope so.
The way the Warriors are going to do this, it's wild. Like, you're going to see a lot of 10-day contracts. You're going to see people coming in and out of the lineup, going back and forth from Santa Cruz until their season ends. It's going to be wild. I don't know if Kevin Knox will be on the final roster for the postseason, but you're going to see him soon, and he's going to be contributing in a beautiful way. I'm looking forward to that. But until then, yeah, they're lacking a little bit.
You know, the little bit that we've seen of him in the preseason, he really showed out. I mean, I thought he didn't play really well, but he showed his effort. He showed his heart out there. And I said, you know what? That kid is going to be something if you give him a chance. So
he might. Again, Kevin Dana, the voice of the Santa Cruz Warriors, he's going to join the program during the All-Star break. And again, he calls every one of these games. He's been watching Kevin Knox up close. He makes me look smart because I always go to him first and foremost whenever I want to know how a Santa Cruz player is doing. And he's always honest with me, man. And he told me straight up, like, Kevin Knox is ready. He is posting big numbers in Santa Cruz, and I'm excited for that, dude. But anyways, we got some other people waiting. Any final thoughts, Curtis?
Last thoughts, man. This is a testament to Curry's greatness. Think about this. He had people that on his team that were not hitting the game. They weren't hitting their shots. the refs were calling everything against him, and he started off really slow, but yet he comes back and scores the 37 points tonight. The man is just great. I
Yeah.
mean, he comes in when you need him to come in. He's hitting his shots. He's so good that the other teams have to foul him and hold him and try to keep him from being effective. And still, he has a great game. So,
And again, he's doing this with virtually no help. Like he's being
exactly.
surrounded by G League players, two-way players. Like Pat Spencer, for example, tonight, I thought was playing great. But let's not pretend he's not a two-way player. And
Right.
that's the support that he's getting out there, or lack thereof. Jackson Rowe played 15 minutes, 29 seconds. Side note, he did not have a good game. He pulled almost a Tony Snell, 0 of 5 shooting from the field. 4 of those 5 field goal attempts were 3-point attempts. So 0 points for Jackson Rowe in his second game in a Warriors uniform. Did have 2 assists, though, so at least it wasn't a complete and 1 rebound Tony Snell night where it's just zeros across the board. Pat Spencer, I really like this guy, man. He is athletic. He was defending LeBron on some of these possessions, not always successfully, but he wasn't a complete liability either. I mean, LeBron was not just scoring at will when he was defended by Pat. And Spencer was 6 of 9 from the field tonight, 13 points. In 16 minutes of play. So my entire point of bringing all this up is you talk about Stephen Curry and his greatness. This is who he's playing a lot of minutes with. Buddy Hield, another guy who I really hope when Jimmy Butler makes his debut, and especially when Kuminga comes back, I hope those minutes are simmered just a little bit. Buddy Hield tonight played 35 minutes and 3 seconds. He did have his 3-point shot going finally, 4 of 9 from deep, finished the game with 16 points. But yeah, I hope when Jimmy's here and then when Kuminga comes back, that Steph can finally just relax, dude, and get some damn help.
You said it on an earlier broadcast that you had today, and that was that when Jimmy Butler comes in, these teams are going to have to pay for double and tripling Steph because that's going to leave him wide open. Yeah, and why the hell did D get a DNP tonight? He's not hurt.
He is hurt. He is hurt. He hurt. It's not a major injury, but that's a weird one. Like he did something, I think, to his knee in last night's Jazz game. And it's not a serious injury, but I heard or read somewhere that it's like some sort of tendonitis issue, and he's experiencing soreness. I agree. They could have used his energy tonight. He was missed.
For sure, man.
Yeah, Curtis, brother, thank you as always, dude. Any final thoughts?
No, man. Appreciate it. And thanks for having us, man.
Of course, brother. Curtis, thank you, man. Thanks to everyone. And I'm going to bring Mr. Lavel on the show. Kai, Vintage, Mr. J, you're next. I just want to finish up real quickly talking about Stephen Curry, because as Curtis already mentioned, 37 points for Steph. A lot of people are going to bring up the fact that his 3-point shooting was not that efficient. It was 6 of 20. He finished the game shooting 13 of 35 from the field, which is hovering around, 38%. I'm just doing that math in my head. I could be wrong. But the second half numbers is what I like to focus on, because Steph had a bad start to this game, but he came out of that tunnel in the second half, not obsessed, but on a mission. He was taken over by another entity that just gave him some juice. And in the second half of this game, Stephen Curry scored 24 points, 5 of 13 from deep, way better than 6 of 20. And he was 8 of 21 from the field total, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That was all in the second half. He was a plus 14 in terms of net rating. But it was not enough. But Stephen Curry still has the juice at 36 years of age. He turns 37 next month, March 14th. More specifically, Mr. Lavel, you are next up. Welcome to the program. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Si? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm not too upset with the result of the game. I'm looking forward to the Jimmy Butler debut.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah, I think we'll really see like what the Warriors are really made of. But to me, I'm really looking forward to the buyout situation. I'm really looking forward to how we fill up the roster. I did agree with what you're saying about the whole 10-day contract situation. Like, they're going to add a bunch of guys like in and out of the lineup and everything. I want to see what Kevin Knox can do. I want to see like what a couple of the players that we've been developing in the G League, see if they can contribute and give us something. But I really like want to see in the bottom, I'm really have my eyes on Simmons. I think he's a guy, like a top candidate. Someone like Marcus Smart. I read some stuff about Brogdon, but it's some iffy stuff. Like at first they're saying, yeah, he's a candidate, but now like
you keep bringing up all these guard names, man. Like, is that who you want? You want another point guard on this team, or
nah?
Like
the guy I really want, to be honest with you, is Bruce Brown, but that's like unlikely. Like the Pelicans really want to hold on to him, but if he were somewhat available, he would like change the direction of the season, like he did for like Denver and stuff like that. Like he's so impactful, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Like again, I have no complaints. Like I'll give my full judgment on the team until I see Jimmy Butler play.
If you have complaints, that's okay, games. Man. If you have complaints, complain, dude. I mean, they just lost a few really frustrating games, so I get it.
It was a back-to-back. Like I can't front, you know what I mean? Like, and this is in LA, the travel and everything like that. Like I knew like this was probably going to be an L, but again, I'm just looking forward to, Jimmy Butler playing and seeing how everything works. And then of course, Kuminga coming back. I think he's coming back post All-Star break, correct me if I'm wrong?
He's going to get Jonathan Kuminga. And again, there was footage of him published that I reposted on my social media accounts if you want to go see it. But there's video of him working out with the team in a morning shoot around in Utah. So this was a day ago. He looks good on the court. He was moving well, mostly just putting up shots, nothing crazy. But he's going to get reevaluated Monday. So today is Thursday, February 6th. So what is that? February 10th. And then the reevaluation will basically be they'll publish a press release announcing when everyone can expect him officially back. My guess would be, though, because the All-Star break is approaching, that they're going to play it safe and bring it back after. And for everyone who's frustrated about Kuminga being out as long as he has been, I get it. Ankle sprains do not normally take close to 2 months. Just think back to, and again, I don't understand why we don't see it reported anymore, but there used to be a time where on the injury report, you'd see high ankle sprain. Like you see that word high attached to it. And high ankle sprains are in terms of pain and swelling and the impact on the lower extremity of your leg, it's very similar to like a fracture, man. Like if you get a high ankle sprain, I mean, we saw Kuminga in the boot. He could barely even walk on that thing. It was a very serious injury. Durability is important to me. So for everyone who calls me like a Kuminga fan or a Kuminga stan, whatever, you'll hear me change that tune very fast if he proves himself to not be a durable player. Durability is a very important variable for success in any professional sport, NBA included. So he needs to actually play, man. So let's hope when he comes back that he will stay on the court and we'll see a healthy version of Jonathan Kuminga. But yeah, Monday is going to be the reevaluation date. And then my guess is he'll get the green light immediately after the All-Star break. So hope I answered your question.
I'll say one last thing. I know I mentioned the whole buyout thing and stuff, and you were saying, hey, you're only picking guards and stuff. The one notable thing that happened today was Daniel Tice got waived. That might be a guy that maybe the Warriors look at.
What's the name again?
Tice, Daniel Tice.
He got waived by the Thunder.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Correct. Yeah,
okay.
The Thunder. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, he got waived by the Thunder.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because it's like, I know Chet is coming back and he should be like ready to go, and they got Hartenstein. So keeping Tice, that's the thing that's tricky. Is like they don't have like any like a cap situation going on with them. So I don't know why they acquired him and then they waive him. I was thinking they have him as like insurance, but maybe like Chet is really ready to go, and it's like you don't really need him, but it's just like he's a guy that I think he can give us some minutes off the bench.
Yeah, I got to do my research on the why of that. My guess would be it's some sort of salary thing. OKC's always focused on the dollars. They are not big spenders, which is going to be fascinating when you see these young pieces of theirs suddenly up for these big extensions. They're not big spenders. That's not who they are. So maybe it was like a money saving thing. I don't know. I got to do my research on that. But your point is taken, man. In terms of the team looking at the buyout market for prospective bigs, man, I would not hate a guy like Daniel Tice. Is he the Is he the guy who broke Steph's hand? Was he the guy who fell on Steph?
Nah, that wasn't him. That was I forgot his name. That was
Yeah, me
I
too. I
forgot his
forgot
name.
now who was.
Yeah,
But
it
anyways,
wasn't him. It
okay.
wasn't
So
him.
I'm glad. So that because that guy is just I hate that guy, man. I cringe to this day here thinking about that. So good. It's a good thing knowing that Daniel Tice is not the guy who crushed Stephen Curry's hand. But I feel you, man, and we'll keep you posted on the buyout market. The buyout market's weird. It's like it's not predictable. The only people who really know the full scope of information pertaining to that market are the agents and the front offices themselves. It's not leaked out like trade rumors nearly as much. It's a tricky thing. I like my memory does not recollect any significant additions by the Warriors ever at the buyout market. And if anyone wants to correct me on that or add an addendum to that, please do. But my memory does not serve anything in terms of the Warriors ever being involved in a buyout market player. I also don't know if the salary cap will even let them add a player.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It will, because they're like a little bit under the first apron. And as you know, many teams that are like contenders right now, they're over the first apron, or some of them are second apron teams. So
True.
The Warriors are like in an unusual position where they can actually go after guys that make a little bit over like $12 million a year.
If they don't give Quentin Post a guaranteed deal, you're absolutely right. And maybe that's something you look at, right? I mean, maybe that's what you do is just keep Quentin Post on a two-way deal because you own his rights after the season. It's not like you're going to lose him if you do that. And then you save that guaranteed slot for someone else. I mean, it's a good call. I'm definitely going to monitor that. I promise you that. And if there's any intriguing names, I'll bring it up for sure on the show.
No, but I appreciate you putting me on, man.
Appreciate you.
Have a great night. And like I said, I'll definitely stick around and join these little lives and stuff. But keep doing your thing,
brother. Thanks, Mr. Lavel. Have a good night. And yeah, the buyout market is interesting. I do not personally put hope in that realm for the Warriors finding a piece. And again, my guess is the Warriors want to see what this looks like with Jimmy Butler. Because to them, like, they could just be looking at Looney. They could be looking at Trace Jackson Davis, who weirdly has become like a persona non grata lately on this roster, getting DNPs tonight. We saw him for just 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Kerr goes through his moody spells with bigs, right? Kevon Looney was entirely out of the rotation for a few weeks in this season. So who knows what the long-term plan is there. Quentin Post right now is starting. Wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden he's phased out, because again, there's no consistency with the minutes and with the rotations when it comes to the Warriors centers. They have three of them: Quentin Post, Kevon Looney, and Trace Jackson Davis, and none of them have found a consistent role on this team. So we shall see what happens. Paid chats, and then Kai, I'm going to get to you next real fast. Crazy Boo Boo Chicken it says send Brandon to China. Brandon who? Brandon Ingram? Who are you talking about, Crazy Boo Boo? Follow that up, please. You don't have to pay because I'm curious to know who you're mentioning. Vintage MJ is asking, send the link again. I'll absolutely do that for you. You didn't have to spend $5 on that, but I do appreciate it. We are a business here. And on that note, new sponsor coming Saturday, one that's awesome. I've been working on this one for a long time, and I'm really ecstatic to introduce a new partnership that's going to be coming on Saturday night's show. The link is going to be posted right now. Wait, am I muted? What's going on here? I see. Oh, okay. I'm not. So here's the link if you want to join the show. And here's Kai joining us from Florida. I'm guessing you're going to bring some strong opinions. Welcome to the program. How are you doing, brother?
Cyrus, I've never wanted to be more wrong than I want to be wrong right now. This time I want
you to be wrong too.
Yeah, I hope that I'm wrong. Because I'm not one of those guys who, because I was not in agreement with the trade, now I want to see Jimmy Butler fail to prove me wrong. No, I want to be the one to, you get what I'm saying? I want to see him
completely. Look, I wasn't a huge Wiggins fan. It didn't mean that I was rooting against him. I was hoping it worked out, but the inconsistency these last 2.5 years just got to me, man. I was ready to move on. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, before I get to the Jimmy Butler trade, that I have quite a few things to say. I want to address the person who was saying send in Brandon. They're talking Pajemski. Listen, guys. Listen something.
My bad. Okay.
Since Pajemski came back from the injury, he's averaging 15 points, shooting 42% from three. So all these guys, I see people are, Pat Spencer is better than Brandon. Tonight, Brandon, he only had 8 points tonight, but he had 7 rebounds. He led the team in rebounds, and he had 7 assists. He also led the team in assists. You only have
And Kai, there was a missed call. It should have been called. And this is one of many instances where NBA officials tonight deserve the criticism. LeBron James plowed into him.
Yes,
should have been a
LeBron.
blatant.
They're not going to call that charge on LeBron.
That was a blatant charge. They called that same charge on Moses Moody later in the game. But when Brandon Podziemski took a charge from LeBron, nothing. Just play on. And that was a joke, man.
Yeah,
Podziemski earned that charge. Thank you for clarifying the Podziemski.
I want you guys to lay off Brandon. That's a 22-year-old who was brilliant last season. This year he started out with that injury where he's wearing a mask, and he was terrible at the first half. That's because he's wearing a mask, something he's never done before, so his shooting is going to be off.
Yeah, you've said that before, and I agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. He did not look comfortable. Like, he did not look like he was having fun out there. That he looked at I can't even imagine like just having your nose crushed like that. Like I had that happen when I was a kid. My nose is so messed up already, but there's a permanent like little dent here from that. And I don't envy what Podziemski was experiencing early in the season. I'm with you 100%. I also agree with 49ers Minded in the chat saying that Podziemski took that elbow from Jared Vanderbilt in this game as well, and the ref said nothing.
God. See, so yeah, just look at what he's been, and it's a good sample now. It's now 9 games since he's been back. He's averaging 15 points, shooting 42%. But let's get back to the Jimmy Butler thing right now. Jimmy Butler is here. My son, who is a basketball savant, he's 23 years old. He sat me down today and he talked me into the Jimmy Butler thing. Why?
When you say savant, real fast, when you say savant, do you mean as a player or do you mean as like an analyst and observer? What do you mean by that?
Both. As a player and as an analyst. He's in college right now. He wants to be a sports broadcaster.
Congratulations, Kai. Bravo, man.
But he sat me down today and he pointed out all the nuances of Jimmy Butler's game that is going to benefit our team. I'm starting to get it. And I'm a Warriors guy. I'm going to roll with anybody who is a Warrior. Now, let me tell you why I was against getting Jimmy Butler to begin with. Because I didn't like the idea when 3 of our starting 5 guys are over the age of 35. I did not like that idea of Draymond turning 35, Steph turning 37, Jimmy Butler turning 36 later this year, and 3 of them are in the. And the other thing that I didn't like about it was, where is Kuminga going to play? Because Kuminga can only play 3 or 4. Jimmy Butler is now our 3. Draymond is the 4. And Steve Kerr, he's gonna favor his veterans. So Kuminga in year 4, I'm talking about a number 7 draft pick who is now completing year 4, starting year 5, and can't make the starting lineup. And now his contract is due. So you're going to be giving $100 and something million to a kid who can't make your starting lineup. Where's Kuminga going to play? My solution to that is, all right, we've been having problems finding the shooting guard position. Is Steve Kerr going to be brave enough to play Jimmy Butler at the 2 so Kuminga can play at the 3 and Draymond at the 4? I know that shooting is clunky. I know that it's going to be clunky for shooting because Jimmy Butler is not really a shooter. Neither is Kuminga, neither is Draymond. It's only Steph out there can shoot. But in that case, you'd have to play Quentin Post. But even if not, play Kevin Looney. Lean into your defense. Because I think Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney, that's a stubborn-ass defense right there for people to try to get through. So lean into your defense.
My guess is, Kai, just to add to that, Kuminga's probably going to continue coming off the bench. And the bench role is not necessarily like a criticism of him. It doesn't reflect how he's playing. It's just that's the fit. He's still posting incredible numbers. I forgot what the stat was, but he's posting literally record-level numbers for a bench player this year.
He was averaging 21 points for the last
in December.
Last 15 games, yeah.
But adding to that, the more important part of the Kuminga piece and where he fits with Jimmy and with Draymond and with Steph is the closing lineup. I imagine what you're going to see in these clutch moments is you're going to see at least 4 of the players seem to be set, which is Steph, Kuminga, Jimmy, and Dre. And then Vucevic would have been the 5th, but because they didn't sign him, in some ways, maybe it's a good thing because you have flexibility in terms of who that 5th guy is. Who is your 5th guy? I imagine it's going to be a shooter. But Buddy Hield, right?
In that closing lineup for me, I'm gonna go with Brandon Podziemski. I'm gonna go with Stephen Brandon in the backcourt with Jimmy Butler and Kuminga and Draymond. And the reason I'm going with Brandon is in those clutch situations, I'm talking 2-3 minutes left in the game, you want to grab those rebounds. You want to grab your rebounds. And Podziemski, for me, is one of our best rebounders. So if it's not Kevin Looney that you're going to put out there, which is going to make it very clunky, then it has to be Podziemski.
And I actually like Bree's idea the best, which is Moody should be that fifth guy. I thought Moody played great tonight. He's shooting over 40% from three. He's look, I know he still has a ways to go in terms of development, but I would not hate that idea. Sorry, go ahead.
I wouldn't hate. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't hate Moody in the starting lineup. Same. I would not hate having Moody in the starting. Was Steve Kerr going to do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, my optimism is that this trade, first of all, it took Dennis Schroeder away from Steve Kerr, and I love that because it's one less 6'1" guy that we get to see out there. It's also changing Steve Kerr's approach a little bit, I hope, because once upon a time, Steve Kerr did play centers. He did understand the importance of size, and I feel like the front office just really acquiesced far too extreme in terms of Kerr's like read and react, his emphasis on speed. That title in 2022 gave Kerr a lot of leverage in terms of personnel decisions. And Joe Lacob finally put his foot down. He gave it 2.5 years, finally put his foot down. My point is I'm encouraged that we're going to see less small ball Hobbit-sized lineups. I could be wrong on that, but
because it's going to be less motion offense because he has to cater for Jimmy now, so it will be less motion offense, and I like that. My other point that I'm going to bring is, if you notice in recent times, the three best players that has come to the Warriors was Kevin Durant when he came, Andrew Wiggins, and now Jimmy Butler. Kevin Durant became a better player when he came to the Warriors.
Correct.
Andrew Wiggins became a better player when he came to the Warriors. And as old as Jimmy Butler is, I think he will be a better player when he. I'm just worried about it stalling Jonathan Kuminga. So that's what I worry about. It's gonna stall.
He's not gonna start. I'm almost positive he's not gonna start. My guess is that's something that they're gonna deal with next year. But for now, he's been doing great coming off the bench. It's not like that role has hindered him. I think they're just going to keep doing that, and then the closing lineup will involve Kuminga, and then I'm with you, man. I don't know if you saw the show earlier today with Rick Barry, but he said, he said the exact same things you said, which is he's really excited to see how Butler improves. And I'm with you on that. I'm even more excited to see Steph and how much easier life's going to get for him, because Stephen Curry at 36 years of age still can drop 37-point nights like tonight. He can still do it, even though he was 6 of 20 from deep. A lot of that was him just forcing shots. Some of that was exhaustion from playing a back-to-back. I mean, he just played the night earlier at 4,200 feet elevation in Utah, and he's in LA not less than 24 hours later. That is impressive, man, for a guy his age. So I'm really, really excited, man, to see what happens.
Let's go with the Jimmy Butler version of the Warriors. Like I said, I did not like the trade, but I slept on it one night, and I had a 23-year-old sit me down today and pointed it out to me. So I'm on the train right now. The other thing that I'm going to be happy to see is now we have two players in crunch time that you can throw the ball to Jimmy Butler or Jonathan Kuminga, and they can bully their way into the paint.
Exactly.
Get to the free throw line and do something from there instead of having to be shooting up shots with three defenders all the time.
Exactly. So, hey, I'm so excited to see how this is going to come together. I'm elated. It's going to make life easy for everybody. We saw something tonight as well that we haven't seen in a while. At least I haven't. Draymond Green's usage rate has plummeted the last 2+ years. He used to be the team's primary ball handler. He used to be he was known as the team's point guard. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if like the same mentality that has been prescribed to Stephen Curry in the sense of trying to relieve some of the workload by having him not handle the ball as much. I don't know if that same mentality was being applied to Draymond Green as well, in the sense that I never thought until recently, and I need to ask Rick this next week when he comes back, like I never pictured ball handling, like dribbling a basketball as being something that took a lot of energy, but apparently he does. So, but we saw that tonight. We saw Draymond Green, like that old version of him as the playmaker, as the point guard. That was one of the adjustments I noticed in the second half. I hope we see more of that, because Draymond at the point with Steph, Butler, Kuminga, and whoever that fifth guy is, if it's Moses Moody. Side note, Moses Moody shooting 40% from three this year. That is fantastic. So sign me up. I can't wait. Kai,
all right,
tell your son he's smart.
Yeah, man. Let somebody else come on and talk. So, hey, listen, man, I'm converted.
Tell your son he's a very from me very smart man, and
All right,
Dad's
thank
doing
you,
well.
guys.
Dad's doing well. Have a great night, Kai. Great to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
And let's go to Vintage MJ. I know people have been waiting a long time. You're the last one at the moment, Mr. J. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Cy?
Javi.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm waiting to. I know you said look. I'm coming on your show. We'll figure that part out, okay? But how are you doing?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, hey, man, thank you for having me on again. What's up, everybody in the chat? I got 3 questions for you, right?
All right, let's do it.
So, one of them is I was watching the game earlier with a couple of friends, and one of them, I've heard, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I kept hearing like a lot of people favor LeBron, the referees favor LeBron, they give him fouls and stuff like that. And then when I was watching the game, I was surprised how blatant certain things were.
Like,
and one of them was, I felt like there were certain calls that normally they would let him, play, but with LeBron, a lot of them were called. And instead of showing the replay, or even some of his teammates too, right? And instead of showing the replay of the foul that happened, they would show a highlight of Stephen Curry or somebody, right? And it was like almost like a sleight of hand kind of thing. And that's what I seen.
Like the
I want to see,
like the media's playing along with the whole collusion and of favoring LeBron. Is that what your friends are saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, and as I was looking at it too, I don't know. Maybe it's a conspiracy, but like from what I seen, it seemed like it was that was the way. Yeah, it was like a sleight of hand move.
Well,
I don't know. I want to see your opinion on it.
Well, no, that's a good topic to bring up because I don't know if you watched the TNT broadcast. I don't even know if the game was on NBC Sports Bay Area, but I watched the TNT version, which included Charles Barkley, and he was getting a lot of heat from Lakers fans because Barkley says this all the time, and I'm really glad that his focus is not just hating on the Warriors. He also shares some of that love with the LA fan base, and he's saying that the Lakers are not a contender. And he keeps saying that the media in general favors them so much, gives them all this ridiculous attention, and so he wasn't saying exactly what you and your friends were saying, but he was alluding to this ridiculous one-sided affair when it comes to attention and bias from officials. LeBron James gets a ridiculous amount of one-sidedness. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
What else did your friends say?
So, I mean, from that, I mean, they were just looking at the game. They had the same reaction I did. I'm like, am I seeing this too, or am I tripping? I mean, are you seeing this too, or am I tripping?
Yeah. Well,
he's like, I see this too.
So long that it's almost become normalized, and that's the only reason why I don't mention it more is because. I mean, this has been going on since 2005 it's insane. 20 years ago, it's become old. It'd be like if all the one-sidedness for Patrick Mahomes that we see in the NFL and all the insane officiating bias that the Chiefs get. Imagine that 15 years from now. Like we just get used to it at that point. The same way we're still upset about it, but it's exhausting. It's an exhausted topic. But 100% agree with you. It's absurd. Yeah. And again, the numbers don't lie, man. The Lakers lead the league in free throw attempts per game. And you look at the free throw attempts tonight, 20 for the Warriors, and the Warriors only made 70% of those. Once again, the Warriors cannot hit their free throws. And this is where Brandon Podziemski got some criticism that is valid. He needs to make his free throws. 2 of 6 shooting from the charity stripe. That is unacceptable for Brandon Podziemski. But Pods also did grab 8 rebounds in this game. Podziemski also did grab 7 or dished out 7 assists in this game. But the 8 points, they could have used a little more of that. And Podziemski had those 3-point attempts down the stretch that if he had made just one of those, could have been a momentum shifter. But Podziemski finished the game 0 of 3 from deep. So not the greatest night for him, unfortunately. I don't even know why I started talking about Podziemski, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, my friend just told me, he's like, I told you. And he just shook his head like as I'm asking him this question. I thought it was hilarious. But the second question, The second question was,
where's your blunt? Where's your J? Or are you driving, man? What's going on? I'm not gonna.
yeah, I came to Carl's Jr. real quick, but I smoked a little earlier when I came over here. I'll smoke another one in a bit. I'll roll one up.
Carl's Jr. Do they still have the fried zucchini? I haven't had Carl's Jr.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, so good. I haven't had it in like 15 years, man. But when I was in college, fried zucchini with the crispy chicken and the bacon, and you dip the fried zucchini in the ranch. What are you ordering, dude? What's your meal?
So tonight I decided to go with the triple big Carl with the cheesecake and some onion rings.
Give a plug to your show, dude, because you host the Stoner program. I love it. You embody the Stoner mentality. That is the sponsor that for anybody out there, one of the weed dispensaries in the Bay Area. I'm only going to be able to get one of you as a sponsor, but whoever first come first serve, dude. Like, this is a Stoner friendly program. Javi is our official golden dazer when it comes to the Stoner crowd. I got to come up with a better name or good name for your role here, but
I got to become a golden dazer.
You embody the Cheech and Chong approach, brother. Like the triple burger, 3 patties.
Yeah.
Bravo. Chef's kiss for that, dude.
Max. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, we just run a little podcast. Actually, the friend that was telling me, like, the Celtics fan, the one that was telling me is like, yeah, I told you, they favor LeBron. He's actually one of the members. He's one of the other members. But best bud stock.
I'm happily coming on your show. Tell people how they can follow it, dude. And I had Derek Simmons waiting, but he's out. But tell people how can people subscribe to your show, brother?
So we're on YouTube and every other major platform. You can find us at Best Buds Talk and Facebook or social media, and it's basically like the logo will be a joint on the left, a nug in the middle, and then a weed leaf in the side, and they have 2 mics on the table, and they're just smoking a joint and talking, and says Best Buds Talk. But you guys can find us. We just smoke and have fun conversations. Hopefully, we can have Cy on, sometime in the future, and see what he's like smoking a joint.
We'll do it, man. We'll do it, and I'll happily come on to light up with you guys because, like I said, I'm not going to light up for this show. Even though I know my eyes are squinty and people think I'm stoned half the time, I stay sober for this show. I have to, dude. I cannot be as fast. I can't be sharp if I'm high. But if I'm a guest on someone else's show, sign me up, dude. By the way, Adrian Gutierrez saying a double Western cheeseburger, wrong. Triple Western cheese.
Oh yeah.
How much extra do they charge for the third patty? Is it just $1 or what? How much? What more are you paying for that?
Like
that
2 or 3. 2 or 3. Yeah.
Even fast food is ripping people off now, man.
Yeah.
What does the world come to, dude? Like, I had Taco Bell the other day for the first time in like 15 years, thinking I could just go there and just get a quick 7-layer burrito. And that's it. I was just going to get a 7-layer. They don't even sell those anymore. I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm like, all right, just give me a bean and cheese and just a taco, and we'll call it a night. It was like $8. It was like $8 for like a bean and cheese and I think 2 tacos. I was like, dude, what is going on in this world?
Yeah.
Fast food should not be costing that much money, but
yeah. But yeah, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I just had 2 other questions. One, the Jimmy Butler. I know before you weren't too big of a fan of the trade. Now that we have him, I haven't really followed him too much. I hope he could help us out somehow. I noticed that a lot of the things, because you had mentioned something earlier about making certain moves, or like ball handling could take energy. Maybe I'm talking at like a very naive or expert level. But like, when doing certain jukes do kind of take energy, but at that level, I would think you'd have enough energy to at least do some moves, to evade. Even Kevon Looney, I've seen certain things where they pass it to him and he just passed it away. And there's certain things that the Warriors could do themselves. Some of the players are a little better in offense and even defense. But now that Jimmy Butler's in the Warriors, what's your thoughts on that now? Are you hopeful, or are you still upset that he's older and what the rhetoric was before?
No, Jimmy Butler, I don't think has peaked yet. Jimmy Butler is physically a beast. He takes care of his body. He has a very high basketball IQ. He's highly, I don't know if he's like book smart, like academically intelligent, but when it comes to basketball, the dude's on it in terms of conditioning, studying the game. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all in terms of his fit. I was a little surprised to learn that Steve Kerr and Jimmy Butler have never had a conversation. Like, they don't know each other at all. So, but at the same time, I like it because from my perspective, and this is just my opinion, like 99% of what I say is, but Steve Kerr got way too comfortable. Like the environment became way too chill for a team that was playing 500 ball. Like every player on that team feels like it's Steve Kerr's guy. And look, if you're winning, that's great. But when you're playing 500 ball and you have Stephen Curry on your team, that's a borderline crime. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled at the fact that Steve Kerr's challenged. Like, he's going to actually have to coach. He's going to have to like manage players that aren't necessarily like his style. And I like that, dude. Like people need to be challenged to stay on top of things and stay competitive and be successful. So sign me up. I'm all in. Jimmy Butler is a player himself. Don't look at the numbers this year because the numbers are skewed based on his unhappiness. The Miami Heat themselves are not a good team, man. They play 500 ball in the Eastern Conference, all right? That matters. The East is a joke. So they're not even that great of a basketball team. I mean, Tyler Hero, look, more power to him for making an all-star team this year, but Jimmy Butler was not surrounded with, a cast of star players, man. Like, he's going to come to the Warriors still at the peak of his powers. The dude can still ball and still dominate. And now he has Stephen Curry as a teammate. Now he has Draymond Green having his back defensively. Now he's going to suddenly have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, who, a side note, I can't wait for Kuminga to kind of get that dog in him from Jimmy Butler. Like people underestimate the dog factor, right? Like the mental toughness, the grit, the type A personality. Teams with multiple individuals like that, Boston Celtics, case in point, win championships. I love it. I love it, dude. Like Kevin Durant would have probably been better because he's a more efficient shooter, but people are grossly underselling who Jimmy Butler is. He is a superstar. He's going to come here and make a huge difference. He's never won a championship, so he's motivated to get a ring. I'm all in. I'm ecstatic. I'm stoked. I can't wait to see Saturday, man. Your thoughts. What are your thoughts on it?
So, like I said, I haven't really followed him too much, so I don't really know what his, what to expect from him or anything like that. I'm just hoping that he could help out. But that was another thing that I thought about too. I thought that's what I was thinking earlier was that, okay, on top of, being in the team and playing together and hoping to win, that's one thing compared to something where you're playing with other people that are good and they're motivating you. There's a little bit of shit talk between you guys or whatever, but you guys are motivating each other to be good. Like, come on, man, come on, do some work, let's do it. Yeah. And so that also changes your mentality to, okay, I'm going to try harder because that's expected of me and my team. And that just brings something more,
Yeah.
More competitiveness.
You're absolutely right. Javi, we're going to make it happen soon. All right, brother. Thanks for coming on and enjoy the triple bacon.
Thank you.
What'd you get for the side? Fries or what else are you eating with the burgers?
Onion rings.
Onion rings?
Yes, sir.
Oh, dude, bravo. But what's the beverage?
Raspberry tea, the fuse drink, the raspberry fuse.
You nailed it, brother. You're living the stoner life. It's almost Friday. You might as well start pretending it is. Love it. Yeah. Enjoy your night. Great to see you. And I'm looking forward to the collaboration, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. That is Javi, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out his podcast. And I want to real quickly mention a few things in the chat. Peter Gregory bringing up Latrell Sprewell and like what would have happened if Steve Kerr was the coach instead. I still cannot believe all these years later. I think it's been 27 years since Latrell Sprewell choked out PJ Carlissimo. Still shocking. It's still one of the wildest things that has ever happened, in my opinion, in the NBA, and it happened to the Warriors. I don't think Jimmy Butler is at that level in terms of actually like physically assaulting coaches. but it's going to be a fun time, and I think it's going to be a very positive experience. Derek, I'm going to get you in just 1 second, folks. Someone in the chat, Gamer F2P, I think brought up that Jonathan Kuminga already has that dog in him. I agree. But why not even increase that? Why not add some toughness? Why not add some grit and make him even more of a dog? I love Kuminga already, and I think the influence of Jimmy Butler will be a very good thing for the young man. Derek Simmons. Oh, and Tasha, our producer on the show, she helps make all of our YouTube shorts, and she wants to get an apparel thing going with the program. I love it. Flag that, make that a short, what I just said a moment ago about Jimmy Butler. Derek Simmons on the program joining us from Vegas. Apparently you've lost some muscle mass because you're not showing off the pecs and the traps and the bot. What's going on, man? Why are you not on camera tonight? How are you doing otherwise?
I did that on purpose, Si.
I imagine. Why?
That picture is for notice because Steph Curry just put the Lakers on notice tonight. He came back literally on his own against the Los Angeles Lakers on a group full of hobbits. And that last three communicated with me. He said to the Lakers, wait until I get Jimmy because you guys are in trouble. I cannot stand LeBron James, especially him doing all that showboating towards the end when he has the refs on his side. I can't stand him. I felt like I wanted to choke him through the screen when he was doing that.
I know.
Having all that help, the NBA trying to mask how he's so much better than Steph Curry when he really isn't. I can't stand it. And I can't wait till Jimmy Butler gets in the house. I can't wait.
I agree, dude. And I'm so glad you said that because look, Andrew Wiggins had his shot. The memory of 2021, that playing game, still in my mind. The playoff series in 2023, I'm sorry, still in my mind. And there was another playing game. Wiggins, God bless him for the 2022 run, man. Forever a part of Warriors lore. But he could not handle LeBron James. Jimmy Butler is a whole other story. Those two players are also, I know the NBA theoretically is positionless, but if we're talking about positions and what each one, what the roles are for each position and what each individual on a proper basketball team is supposed to do, Jimmy Butler is a legitimate small forward. The dude is a legitimate power forward in a Steve Kerr system. Wiggins was not. Steve Kerr was trying to force Wiggins into something that he isn't, man. Wiggins is a 2 who was passing off as a 3 in the Warriors, but having Wiggins as your power forward, that was asking too much. You're not asking too much having Jimmy Butler handle that same role. That's one of the very key differences between those two players. And if Jimmy Butler was playing tonight, matched up with LeBron, that would have been a dogfight that I would have been eating my popcorn and enjoying, brother. And Jimmy Butler is going to cause problems for players like LeBron James. So I'm glad you brought that up. What are your thoughts? And by the way, Young West 79 in the chat bringing up Jerry Stackhouse back in his playing days, landing those punches on Jeff Hornacek. I totally remember that, and that is also on YouTube. So props for mentioning that. But what is your opinion, Derek, joining us live from Vegas on Jimmy Butler? Like, are you excited about it? I know a lot of people had some consternation, little hesitation. What are your thoughts on Jimmy coming to the Warriors?
I think Jimmy Butler is the only player in the league that's going to walk up to Steve Kerr and tell him, hey, you know that small ball doesn't work, right?
I love it.
I think he's going to be like, everybody's secretly laughing at you for doing that and thanking you at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100% agree with you on that. Too much in the chat saying can't wait to see it. I'm 1,000% with you. Saturday night in Chicago, baby. It's on.
That's stoked. Perfect. Everything happens for a reason. Think about it. Jimmy Butler used to play for Chicago.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So, and again, some people don't subscribe to that because they're in the middle of it, right? But that saying it makes sense, dude, because so much of what happens in your life, especially the negatives that you're asking yourself at that moment, like what the hell's going on here? Eventually it leads to something that makes sense. So again, even if you're a scientific person, you probably hear that and go, what the hell are they talking about? But you live life long enough and there is it makes sense. So I feel you.
It's going down in Chicago on Saturday.
It's going down, brother. It is. Gamer FTP asking, am I going to be streaming play-by-play? I don't know how people get away with that. It's technically illegal because a lot of people get away with it, and more power to them. But no, we're going to come on post-game. YouTube would not let me do that. I think the folks that get away with it are doing it on Twitter mostly. So no, we're a post-game show, and join us then. Derek, any final thoughts, brother? Joining us from Vegas. Side note, being in Vegas, a lot of conspiracy theorists are pointing to the Dallas Mavericks and them making that Luka trade as a reason to disenfranchise themselves from the fan base so they can leave Dallas as easily as possible and relocate to Vegas. I'm sure you living in Vegas have heard that theory. What are your thoughts on it? Is it as crazy as it sounds? Is it reasonable? What are your thoughts?
No, it's not. Vegas is where it's at right now. I mean, right now I'm outside at the hot tub enjoying the weather. I mean, this is an amazing place, and it's growing. I mean, Vegas is growing. So
I know.
many houses are being built here, apartment complexes, townhomes, businesses, stadiums. We're building a baseball stadium too,
For the
and
A's.
they're
Yeah.
talking about having a man-made lake in the middle of it too. I don't know how they're going to do that, but
My one question is, like, where's the water coming from for all this? I don't get that part. Like, isn't the dam like draining? Like, are they concerned about the levels of that dam? Anyways, that's whatever, man.
Elon Musk is going to come up with AI water.
I guess.
That's how he's going to do it.
Derek, any final thoughts, man?
I just hit 1,000 subs on my new YouTube channel.
Oh shit! Bravo!
Yeah.
Promote, man. What's the channel? How can people find you?
Derek Simmons IFBB Pro. That's where it's at. And so super excited. This is my third time doing this, and I feel like I'm pretty good at YouTube now.
Good.
3 channels over 1,000. And
if people come check you out, like what can they enjoy? What's the focus of your show?
So it's really just all about bodybuilding. So if you're trying to get big, that's going to be where it's at over there. We go over multiple supplements that you could take, training techniques. I do interviews, funny interviews. I be on the Las Vegas Strip. So yeah, that's basically the channel.
You know, it's funny, man. I haven't seen any invites to come on a show. So should I start feeling a little hurt here? Am I being dissed? What's going on?
We definitely need to do a collab. Let's definitely do a collab.
Let me know, man. Let me know anytime you want me on. I'll happily join you. Congratulations on hitting 1,000, dude. We're creeping on 4,000 here. It's not easy. You know this as well as anyone, man. It is not easy to grow this thing, especially in this day and age when the market is so saturated. Competition has never been stiffer. So if you're making it, congratulations, dude. It's not easy, and I'm proud of you, brother.
But you got to think about it, Sai. Yeah, there's a lot of people on YouTube, but how many people are as consistent as you?
Well, exactly. How often are you pumping up content?
I do about 3-4 videos a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot, dude. So but they're shorter, I'm guessing? Are they like little clips?
Long and short. I mix it up.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, there you go, man.
But that's how you got to do it, though. You just got to outwork everybody because really people want to be YouTubers, but they think that it's a job where you just kind of make your one video and then you sit around, kick back and relax. No, they don't really know that it's a freaking grind. And
dude, I work, and I know I'm not saying this to garner sympathy at all. All I'm saying is I've worked the amount of work I'm putting in right now for this show level is probably the same as when I owned a surf shop in San Francisco, dude. Like, you got to be married to the thing. It's got to be your sole focus. It's part of the reason why I've decided to just not pursue a relationship in life right now. This is my focus, man. Like, it is a job. It's almost impossible to grow this thing if you're not 100% committed to it. And chances are you probably have other jobs that you have to deal with as well. It ain't easy, man. This game ain't easy, but the rewards are sweet. And I'm really stoked for you, dude. That's great news. 49ers mind that I think said it best. It's easier to grow weed, and weed ain't that easy to grow either.
Yeah. Anything great is going to take work. Anything great.
You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Yeah, there's nothing that's worth having in this world that comes easy, man. That's very true. Good stuff. Any final thoughts? Nothing in this world that's worth having comes easy. I think that's how you say the adage.
I just can't wait for the next Lakers game. I want to shut up that LeBron James. I'm really mad right now. I wish I was a player and I could play for the Warriors because oh my God. But yeah.
Agreed. Derek, have a great night, brother. Come back soon. It's been way too long. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, and don't disappear on me like that like this again, okay?
I won't. I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Derek, take care, man. And I'm so happy that his channel is growing. And for any channel you like, hit that subscribe button. That's the most important part, I think. The like button helps with the algorithm. Shardal, there were people asking about him. One of our proud Golden Dazers, one of our most passionate Golden Dazers, an audience favorite. Yes, I will send you the link right now. Let's get Shardal on the show. I don't think that having an episode of this program without a Shardal take, especially with the Jimmy Butler news, just doesn't feel justified. few more stats as we wrap up the show tonight, and then we're going to do the scoreboard. Stephen Curry, by the way, is our player of the game. I don't think I mentioned that until now. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. There's going to be a new sponsor for that in just starting Saturday. But Steph, again, you take out the first half numbers. Again, the first half was borderline abysmal for Stephen Curry. In the first half tonight, first half of the Warriors found themselves trailing by 20 when they went to the tunnel. Steph was just 1 of 7 shooting from deep. Did have 13 points, but the efficiency in terms of outside shooting was not there. One problem with Steph, I know I'm naming him as our player of the game, and I'm just reading off negatives here. The turnover things continues to be an issue. It's been a problem his whole life, his whole career, I'm sorry. The Warriors have been able to survive the turnovers when they had better rosters, but tonight those turnovers were costly. He had 4 total. The ones in the fourth quarter, though, the ones that really just hurt the Warriors the most. There was one at the very end of the game that he committed that was just sloppy. I think the Warriors were leading by just 5 when he committed that turnover at that point. Although my box score is saying he had no turnovers in the fourth quarter. I don't know how that's possible. I know I saw one with my own eyes. But anyways, take away the first half. Take away the 4 turnovers, and Stephen Curry had himself a 37-point night, playing the second half of a back-to-back, 13 of 35 shooting from deep. From the field. 6 of 20 shooting from deep overall. A perfect 5 of 5 shooting from the free throw line. Yay! He also had 7 rebounds in this game, also had 4 assists in this game, added a steal, added a block. I remember that block vividly. 37 points. In an unfortunate losing effort for Stephen Curry, who is our Underdog Fantasy player of the game. Shardal, where are you? We're starting to wrap this thing up. I want you to come on the show. Let's go through the scoreboard as we start to finish this program up, because there were other games. Mentality's asking, why didn't the Warriors make a trade today? And I think what you're referencing more specifically is the fact that the Warriors did not make a trade with the Chicago Bulls to acquire Nikola Vucevic. Mark Stein reported that the Warriors and the Bulls were talking. My guess is, well, here's the thing. The Chicago Bulls are one of the most incompetent franchises in the NBA. Ever since Michael Jordan left, that franchise has it's been a laughingstock. They've had their moments like when Derrick Rose won the MVP in that brief moment where before he tragically had his career affected severely by the knee injury, the torn ACL. He was, I believe, the youngest MVP ever. Take that little blip of time away, and the Bulls, ever since Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson and the whole crew left, have just been a joke. And you fast forward to the present day, their front office is inept. They don't make prudent moves. They don't have strong relationships with other teams, and they ask for too much in trades. Now, the Zach LaVine thing, for example, people will bring that up and say, well, they traded Zach LaVine. And the Warriors could have had Zach LaVine, side note, this last offseason reportedly, which in hindsight, they probably did blow that. But Zach LaVine still does have a massive contract that the Bulls just wanted to get rid of. DeMar DeRozan, they lost him in a sign-and trade. They were not going to bring him back and pay him the same amount of money that he still wanted. They're cheap. They've never once entered the luxury tax. They never paid a penny over the cap for very good reason, because they're far more focused on the bottom line than they are on producing a winning product on the basketball court. So when you try to negotiate with a team like that, it's not going to be easy. And the Bulls reportedly wanted a first-round pick for Nikola Vucevic, a player who, again, 35 years old, has one more year after the season, getting paid $20 million. And the Warriors were steadfast in offering second-round picks, and they just couldn't come to an agreement. Will that decision bite the Warriors in the ass? We'll find out. I hope not. But that's ultimately what happened when all is said and done. So I thought we had Shardal. Where did he go? Oh, and Mentality is asking, why didn't we trade Dre? Why did I miss that? Why did I think that you were talking about the Chicago Bulls? Anyways, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. But that's why the Warriors didn't make a trade with the Bulls. Why didn't they trade Dre? Simple answer for that. He's Steph's guy. He's still one of the best defensive players in the league. he still can serve as a small ball 5 in clutch minutes, which with Jimmy Butler on this team is going to be huge. Folks, I can't wait for Saturday. I can't wait for this team to finally bring in the reinforcement that Stephen Curry has been needing for 2 years. Ecstatic about it. I can't wait. There's Shardal. There's our guy. Long overdue. How are you doing, bud?
Hey, Sai, how you doing? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm feeling better now that you're here. Some people in the chat said that you sound low, like the same energy has not been there from you lately, Shardal. Are you doing okay in life?
I'm doing great.
Good. What are your thoughts on the Jimmy Butler trade?
I think I agree with the Jimmy Butler trade. I think that it's gonna help us. I think Steph Curry needs as much help as needs. And getting Jimmy Butler will definitely help Steph Curry a lot.
Okay, that's good. How are you doing? Are you sure you're okay, man?
I'm fine.
All right. You do sound different. I'm not gonna lie. But if you're telling me you're okay, I believe you.
I'm calling him Cabo.
Oh, so this is okay. The math is starting to add up here a little bit. So this is vacation, Shardal. This is relaxed, chill Shardal.
Yes.
What's on your mind, man?
Tough loss for the Warriors tonight. The Warriors lose 120-112 against the Lakers. LeBron and Reeves were phenomenal. They dropped 65 points. I mean, those two that duo is unstoppable. Like, they are hands down. You can't beat those two. When they're on the floor, there's nothing you can stop to cool them down.
Yeah.
LeBron got a double-double. And I think they're going to bounce back against the next team they face. They go up against the Bulls.
Are you still going to be in Cabo for that?
I'm going to be back on the...
Okay, so your vacation's almost over.
So I'm going to be joining you back at home.
I'm more interested in your Cabo trip than I am about the Warriors at this point. What are you doing in Cabo, man? Are you with the family? Like, are you with your boys? Describe the trip, please.
We're just here on vacation.
Who's we? Like your family or your friends?
I don't want to share it. I don't feel comfortable.
Fair enough. That's fine.
I don't feel comfortable sharing it.
I respect that.
It's personal matters. I don't want... Some things
fair.
are personal.
That's fair. Are you having fun at least? Are you having a good time in Cabo?
I'm having fun in Cabo.
Good. Okay. So Saturday the Warriors play the Bulls. It's going to be Jimmy Butler's debut. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited to see Jimmy Butler in a Warriors uniform. I think I'm excited. I don't know how he's gonna perform against against the Bulls. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I hope he has a great game. I hope he puts on some good numbers. I mean, what are your thoughts on Jimmy Butler on the Warriors? I mean, when you heard about the trade,
I was screaming.
Were you excited about the trade, or were you like,
my neighbors heard me screaming. I was so ecstatic because the status quo was driving me insane. Like to do nothing, I was ready to like bust through a wall of insanity. Just I couldn't believe that the Warriors were comfortable and fine doing nothing again. So even though Jimmy Butler, I don't think was the perfect trade, it's still going to make this team a much better. And they can now compete with anyone. I do believe that. The Nuggets will be a challenge. I'm not going to lie. I still don't know what the Warriors' answer is for Nikola Jokic. And it's the biggest reason why I'm not going to sit here and predict the Warriors going to win the whole thing. But I feel good about it. There's no way I would tell you that the Warriors can win the title. I really do think that. And the large reason is not necessarily the Warriors roster itself, which is good. It's not great, but it's good. But the rest of the West, it has been stricken with parity. There is no team in the Western Conference outside of maybe the Nuggets who have the Warriors number. The Lakers do, but Jimmy Butler is an answer for the Lakers. I don't know if Jimmy Butler is an answer for the Nuggets. What do you think?
I mean, like, it's first of all, it's good that we got Jimmy Butler. But let's just play it out a little bit. Let's just play a couple of games with Jimmy Butler. Let's assess how well he plays, how well he does on the team. Because taking him out at this point is kind of too early to do that. Because we just got him in the trade. I mean, you're not going to let him go right away. I mean, that's going to be rude.
No, you wouldn't let him go right away. By the way,
That's
let
gonna
the
be
kid.
rude to like if you got Jimmy Butler and then if you let him go after playing maybe 2 or 3 games and he doesn't do anything and you let him go, it's like you got him in the trade. I mean, like, are you not gonna let him go? I mean, that's gonna be like absurd.
It would. Let the Jet Fly is writing, like, would you waive GP2 to sign Marcus Smart and Kelly Olynyk? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Sure at all. I love your thoughts on this. GP2 is on your team to play defense, right? Because the offense is virtually non-existent. I cringe at this point when I see him put up threes. Those are never going in. He's shooting below 20% from three this season. Below. And tonight he was 0 of 3. He was 1 of 4 from the field. The dude misses layups. Side note, Stephen Curry missed 2 easy layups in this game, and Draymond Green missed an easy layup in this game. Make your goddamn layups. Play some transition defense. Get back so teams aren't beating you with the easiest buckets imaginable. But with that said, if GP2 is not going to be used or is not this elite defensive player, then why is he on the team? I don't get that part of it at all. Would you do that, Shardal? Would you waive GP2 to sign Marcus Smart and Kelly Olynyk? Because I sure as hell would.
For me, I wouldn't do that because GP2 is one of our best players, and he has a lot of expertise. So for me, I would not waive him because I really like to keep him. I mean, if people come in me in the comments and say that, what are you saying? What kind of mindset do you think? Why are you thinking that way? What are you saying? You're being crazy. Why are you saying these things? I'm saying like you could shout me out in the comments
Here.
and say
No, no
whatever.
one's saying that. No
Whatever.
one's saying that, Shardal. You're fine. Julian Bashir in the chat is making sense, saying GP2 can play the Udonis Haslam role as a chemistry guy sitting at the end of the bench. That is a great call. I agree with that. Shardal, any final thoughts as we start to wrap it up, brother?
My final thoughts are that this was I really love all your comments. Really love all your
Thank you.
content, your videos on the channel.
I love you,
I
Shardal.
think you do a really fantastic job. I think you bring a lot of great guests on here, and each person has their own take on the Warriors. They have their own things to say, which I really love. I mean, I really love to hear what people have to say. I mean, that's why I'm a big fan of the Warriors.
Shardal, what are your thoughts on Pete Gregory, who's asking this question? If the Warriors miss the postseason altogether, is Steve Kerr's time as a head coach done? I don't know. What do you think, Shardal?
At this point, it's a little far-fetched to think about that because I don't want Steve Kerr to get fired.
Okay.
And he isn't going to get fired because he's such a great coach and such a great family man. He has his son is coaching the Santa Cruz Warriors up there,
Yes.
Nicholas Kerr. So he's such a great guy, and I have so much faith in him. And I don't care.
By the way, Shardal, I respect how sharp you were there. You said Nicholas Kerr. Bravo.
And I don't care what people say because he's such a great coach and he has led this team so much and he has been so successful. And when the Warriors play the Bulls, that'll be very nostalgic for me because Steve Kerr used to play on the Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman before he
He was on
becomes
that
a
team,
coach on
correct, yeah.
Warriors. So
Correct.
that's going to be a nostalgic game. So I bet a lot of Warrior fans are going to shed some tears when they see
It's gonna be
Steve
a
Kerr
fun night,
coaching
for
against
sure.
his former team he used to play for.
It's going to be a fun night for
I
sure.
mean, I'm definitely going to shed a lot of tears. I'm definitely going to cry a little bit, but that's okay.
You know why,
So-
Shardal? It is okay.
It's okay to
And
cry.
the reason why it's okay, well, it's okay for a lot of reasons, but in your case, it's okay because you got a big heart, brother. I could feel that. So,
And whenever I play NBA 2K25, I always love playing as Steve Kerr. I don't know why playing as Steve Kerr is something special on a video game. Playing as Steve Kerr, like I know it's a virtual video game. It's not nothing is real. NBA 2K25, it's all like
you
virtual,
do you.
computerized. Everything is like fake. Nothing
You
looks
do
real.
you. You
But I
do
love
you.
playing. I love playing as Steve Kerr.
Do you do? Well, isn't he like one of the greatest 3-point shooters ever?
I don't know why I like playing as Steve Kerr. It's
Well,
just.
I think, yeah.
Do you
I think we all
disagree
go
with
why,
that?
but
If I like playing as Steve Kerr?
Steve Kerr's your boy. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Shardal, you have fun the rest of your trip, okay? Cabo. Yeah.
I'll definitely I love your show and I'll definitely call in next time. Let's bounce back from this loss. The Lakers really haunt me as a Warriors fan because they have won
Yes.
the last 10 of their 12 games and they have a 4-game winning streak. They're 3-0 versus the Warriors. This team is no joke. Lakers
Agreed.
are no joke. I have
Agreed.
many fans who support LA, and they might be really ecstatic that the Lakers won today.
Those sons of bitches.
I hate the Lakers. We gotta come in the next time. We gotta come in next time we play the Lakers, and we gotta beat LA.
Deal.
You gotta start the beat LA chants. You gotta in the
Yes.
chat. Let's start the beat LA chant in the chat. Let's
All right.
start
So
it.
next time they play, let's do it. All right.
I'm gonna start the chant, and people can follow me. I'm gonna start the beat LA chant.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then everybody has to follow me, and let's get that chant going for
Deal.
BLA.
Are you gonna do it
And
now?
it
or
was great
save that for
coming
another
on,
show?
and I'll see you next time, Sai.
All right, Cardinal.
I
Thank you,
love
brother.
you're a great professor at San Jose State, and you're also a really, really great host on Golden Days.
Thank you, sure.
In reference to Days and Confused, in reference to the Matthew McConaughey Stoner movie. I really love everything you do on the channel, and keep it rocking, brother.
Thank you, brother. Chardal, he's incredible. There's Chardal for you. People were worried about him. He's doing fine. He's in Cabo. We'll hear from him again soon. The great Chardal joined the program. All right, let's kick some music up and finish up the show with a scoreboard check around the NBA, and then we'll finish with the standings. Let's get those tunes pumping. Love Chardal. I'm glad to hear that he's on vacation, doing well in beautiful Cabo. I once rented an apartment in San Jose del Cabo, the neighboring city of Cabo San Lucas. They call that region Los Cabos. It was a good time. It's a fun place. Don't recommend Costco. It's a little weird. All right. Volume's good. I think it is. Around the association on this Thursday, February 6th. Jesus, what a long day. It's still Thursday, February 6th. Like the trade deadline was just this morning. That's kind of crazy. A limited slate of games tonight, so we'll keep this short. The Indiana Pacers defeating the LA Clippers 119-112. We're going to celebrate any results where another Western Conference team who's in the vicinity of the Golden State Warriors in terms of playoff contention loses. That is a win for the Warriors, and that includes the Pacers beating the LA Clippers tonight. Again, by the final score of 119-112, the Pacers improving to 29-21. The Clippers dropping to 28-23. Pascal Siakam, the all-star, 33 points, 11 rebounds in the win. James Harden, also an all-star, 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists in the loss. The all-star references reminded me of today's NBA on TNT. Inside the NBA on TNT. They had a broadcast tonight where the three panelists, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, each played the role of all-star GM, where those three were responsible for drafting the three teams that'll play an All-Star Sunday in San Francisco. The fourth team will be the Rising Stars, the young team that they're actually going to try. I promise you that. And it's going to make things interesting. But the reason why I bring that up is because I'm watching this draft, and Chuck is just drafting bigs, right? His team is Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Victor Wembanyama, all on the same team. And I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be his point guard. And then you have Kenny Smith's team, which is all youngsters. Like his philosophy was, I'm going to get the youngest all-stars because they're going to be hungry. They're actually going to try. And then Shaquille O'Neal's was like a little bit a mix. Like I think he was going for veterans more. Anyways, the reason why I bring all that up, besides the fact that it was pretty entertaining, and I am curious to see how this plays out, whether or not it's going to be entertaining or not. I was also thinking to myself, if you're an all-star, you do not want to be the last guy picked. And I think the last two players remaining were Donovan Mitchell and Jaylen Brown. That surprised me a little bit. And I think Jaylen was the final player selected. You don't want to be that guy, but Jaylen Brown was that guy. So anyway, that was kind of entertaining. The Sacramento Kings, they lose tonight to a suddenly red hot Portland Trailblazer team. The final score 108-102 in Portland. The Trailblazers, don't sleep on them. They're suddenly 23-29. We'll get to the standings in just a second. The win by Portland drops Sacramento to 25-26. I'm looking at who played for the Sacramento Kings. Domantas Sabonis had 10 points, 14 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan had 22 points. Zach LaVine played for the Kings. He had 22 points. Malik Monk had 21 points. Keegan Murray was also starting. He had 12 points. So the starters were doing okay. But then you look at the bench of the Kings. Trey Lyles, 2 points. Jonas Valanciunas made his debut with the Kings, 6 points. Devin Carter, 8 minutes of playing time, 0 points. Keon Ellis, 7 points. So they've got a weak bench who did not contribute. Their starting five bears a striking resemblance to the Chicago Bulls of like 3 years ago. Oof. My condolences to the Sacramento fan base. I almost care. The Denver Nuggets, a team that does scare me. 112-90 winners tonight over the Orlando Magic. Nikola Jokic, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists in the win. Yet another triple-double. Paolo Banchero, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks in the loss for Orlando. Yeah, the Nuggets scare me. That's the one piece of this. I still don't know how the Warriors are going to approach. If there's any good news, though, it's that they do have bodies to throw at Jokic. Meaning, unlike years past, right? Any year past. I mean, the Warriors haven't beaten the Nuggets in almost 3 years. They've never had this amount of dearth at the center position, meaning they can throw Kevon Looney at Jokic. They can throw Trace Jackson-Davis at Jokic. They can throw Quentin Post at Jokic. They can throw Jackson Rowe at Jokic. They can throw Guy Santos at Jokic. And then save Draymond Green for those final 5 minutes. I imagine that is the strategy. I hope it works. But they scare me. All right, 2 more games, and we're calling it a night on this Thursday. Oh, I'm so happy tomorrow's Friday. The Minnesota Timberwolves, 127-114 winners over the Houston Rockets. Minnesota improving to 29-23. Right, yeah. The Houston Rockets dropping to 30-19. Jalen Green, 28 points, 6 rebounds for the Rockets. Anthony Edwards, 41 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists in the win for a Minnesota team that I was very surprised in seeing did not make any moves at the trade deadline. So they're rolling with what they got. And last but not least, the Dallas Mavericks, 127-120 winners tonight over a somewhat reeling Boston Celtics team that has lost a bit of the swagger they had early in the season as defending champions. Boston drops to 36-16. Dallas improves to 27-25. Klay Thompson had a hot start tonight, he did have a hot start tonight and finished with 25 points on 3 of 6 shooting from deep. I want to see if Anthony Davis made his debut for the Mavericks. He did not. So he has not played yet in a Dallas uniform. And that's it, right? Is that all the scores? It is all the scores. And last but not least, the standings. Let's take a look. In a very crowded Western Conference with parity affecting almost top to bottom. It is pretty wild. So we look at the standings again, and I'm going to be very curious to see where the Portland Trailblazers are. So Portland is now, oh my God. You might not even believe me when I say this, but it's true. The Portland Trailblazers are now 2.5 games behind the Warriors and the Kings for the 10 seed. Oof, that's crazy. Portland is back in the mix. Scoot Henderson is playing some ball. Craig Ross is asking if I have a prediction for the playoffs. At this point, I don't, man. Let's just wait on all that. Let's see Jimmy Butler and how he fits first. I'm very curious, but it is crazy. Grand Admiral Posey, why do you keep bringing up Damian Lee? I've seen every one of your chats. I don't know if it's a running joke. I don't know if he's available and you're dead serious. I'm curious what that's all about. Relo, I apologize if I mispronounced the names, asking, how do I feel about butter? Like on a Pop-Tart? I've never tried it. I want to try it, like really bad. This song is amazing from Family Guy. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so freaking good. But I've never tried it. Curious. So the Portland Trailblazers 2 games behind Sac and the Warriors. The San Antonio Spurs a game and a half behind the Warriors and the Kings. I'm sorry, I don't know what I said before. Anyway, so the Warriors with a loss tonight dropped to 25-26. And here I can actually show the standings on my screen. I sincerely apologize for that. I should have done that much sooner. So everyone else can see what I'm seeing, even though it's probably really small at the same time. Let's see if I can zoom it in like a little bit more. Oh, you do that on me. Let's read that. All right, let's try to zoom in a little more. There we go. Okay. So everyone can see the standings now. With the loss tonight, the Golden State Warriors dropped to 25-26. They are tied with the Sacramento Kings in the 10 seed. But because the Kings hold the advantage with the win-loss record of head-to-head battles, they win the tiebreaker, and they're currently ahead. Excuse me. The Phoenix Suns are currently 9th. They are 500 at 25-25, a half game ahead of the Kings and the Warriors. The Dallas Mavericks are currently 27-25. They sit a game and a half of the Warriors and the Kings. The LA Clippers, 28-23, are 3 games ahead of the Warriors and the Kings. The Minnesota Timberwolves are currently the 6th seed, which would get you into the playoffs without having to deal with the play-in. So that's the target if you're the Golden State Warriors. And the good news is, even with tonight's loss, even with the loss in Utah last night, this is why the Warriors made this trade, because there is still hope in this weird-ass Western Conference. Minnesota right now, 29-23, sit 3.5 games ahead of the Warriors, just 3 ahead in the loss column. And then the LA Lakers with the win tonight put themselves 6 games ahead of the Warriors. So LA is starting to kind of pull away a little bit. We shall see what happens, but the 6th seed very much in play for Golden State. And 1 through 4 right now in the standings. OKC, who pretty much has the top seed wrapped up. Memphis 2nd. Denver is now your 3 seed in the Western Conference at 33-19. And then Houston has dropped to 4 at 32-19. That is their record. Relo in all caps. I will remember this, saying in the chat, I think the Warriors will win it all. They might. I'm not really. Look, if you're a Golden Dazer or if you're a long-term audience member of the show, you've heard me say this repeatedly. This Warriors team has a shot. I'm with you, Relo. Is it Relo or Relo, man? I hope I'm getting it right, but I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. I know, too much in the chat saying all that firepower on the Kings, and they're still tied with us. And that firepower is so overrated. Again, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan were the 2 best players on that Bulls team that kept dropping 500 records year after year after year, with Billy Donovan leading the way in the Eastern Conference. And the Sacramento Kings just basically are replicating that, adding Domantas Sabonis. Oh yeah, the Bulls had Nikola Vucevic, not that different. So yeah, if you're a Kings fan, you're screwed. Craig Ross, optimistic about the Warriors and their title hopes. I'm with you. Grand Admiral Posey saying, why is the 6th seed the goal? I'm not saying that's the goal, but what I'm saying is that at the bare minimum, that's what you want to attain. All right, enough of the play-in bullshit. Get into the playoffs and make some goddamn noise. I love the Jimmy Butler edition. Saturday night is the debut. I cannot wait. Coast to Coast is asking, do I have mods on this show? Sometimes, yeah. And I'm bringing on some interns as well. Some nights like tonight, I'm solo. It's not that daunting on a night like this to monitor the chat, but I do have mods sometimes. Not tonight. All right, I think that does it. Anything else? I think we've exhausted every topic. Warriors lose. but at least they put up some fight. They made it competitive. Stephen Curry can still kick ass. 37 points for one of the greatest to ever lace him up, the greatest shooter ever. If Steph gets a 5th ring this year, Jimmy Butler gets his first championship. Oh, Maron. I'm daydreaming. I'm fantasizing. That means it's time to go. Thank you, everyone, again. We're back at this at the absolute latest Saturday night. Until then, sincerest thanks to everyone. And go Dubs. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And sorry, Coast to Coast.